I always have to ask you guys this at least once a month, but if you aren't already, please consider subscribing, which compared to other YouTubers, 63% of my audience not subscribed is pretty good. That's still 6 out of 10 people watching this haven't hit that button yet, but please do, it helps me so much. How did World War II end? The war ended when all German people were happy because farming was going so well, or World War II ended because Hitler realized his mistake and stopped the war. The war ended when the atomic bomb was dropped on Hiroshima in Japan, or WW2 ended when Hitler stopped the war when all the children in the world started writing him asking him to stop fighting. Ah, yes, that's gotta be the one, right? I need to figure out what country was giving this history exam. Like, I can't believe it. The fact that there were pictures with this multiple choice too, like, that's crazy. Apparently this is from a Korean history textbook. I guess that explains it. Absolutely dying at Hitler being scolded. Hey man, that wasn't cool. I know, sorry. Adolf when he realized invading the world was actually a mistake. It's January 1st, 1943, and you've become the Fuhrer. Your goal is to win the war, or at minimum stave off unconditional surrender. What do you do in this situation? We are about as big as World War II Germany got, but we're also at war with the UK, Soviet Union, and USA. You know what? There's actually only one option. I think I'd rather just decide to end it right now. As the Fuhrer, why wait till 1945? No, but this is an interesting post because there is a lot to be said about 1943. I mean, this article says by 1942, he knew he was gonna lose. I think the moment the Eastern Front started to stall against the Soviets, their empire was pretty much already considered a dead man walking. He needed to knock out the Soviets as quickly as possible, and when that didn't happen, well, he knew he was only beginning to awaken the sleeping bear over here.
Once again,
World War II summarized by a Gen Z Churchill.
In this war.
Germany took a huge L. That's
Adolf thought he did something for real skull emoji. However, bro got absolutely cooked by British forces.
I'm glad that
W in the chat.
I feel like if every history teacher isn't showing their kids this right now, this is crucial stuff for them to see. Honestly, with the amount that Churchill used to like to drink, he probably did end up talking like this by the end of the night. Some Austrian prince gets shot, the whole world for some reason. It's time to literally kill everybody. You don't think I'm willing to sacrifice my life for this random Austrian prince? No, but really, it kind of just shows you how ready a lot of the world was for just massive conflict. I mean, at the very least, you could say this for the German government at the time. World War II summarized in Minecraft, or at least specifically Hiroshima and Nagasaki. So glad they chose to include mushroom clouds in Minecraft. Here's the decolorized version for more accuracy. Imagine farting so good that the king gives you a 30-acre estate. Imagine someone farting so good that you're reading about them right now, 900 years later. This is Roland the Farter. He was a medieval flatulist. What? It is exactly what I thought. I had no idea. Professional farters of medieval Ireland. Why is that such a crazy phrase? They were even found in the Edo period of Japan. Is this gonna be in the new Assassin's Creed game? Okay, anyways, 30 acres of land was given to him by King Henry II. He was only obligated to perform one show for the king's court at Christmas, which was the one jump, one whistle, one fart routine. What are we reading? What is this? What's weirder? Roland here, that dude is just an artist. Or King Henry, who clearly had some sort of weird fetish. Possibly. Year of our Lord, 1195. Summer is fresh in the air. God blessed us with a pregnant mare again. About to catch an afternoon nap until a glint in the corner of my eye. The Lord's entourage riding down the road in full armor. Must be here for yearly piss levy. Act busy and bow before greeting him. Hail your ladyship. Why did I say that? His lordship's face turns red and looks away. Oh frick, tapestry. She smiles and mumbles, I thank thee. I am Mothdith, whatever. Is this some curse? The next day, my ale rations gets doubled in celebration of her male faileth. Confusion, stained glass. I celebrate anyway. I don't want to look at a pregnant gift horse in the mouth die of plague 2 weeks later. The normal life. 1195. So much has changed. One of the earliest recordings of Plato's dialogue, quotes from Socrates are indicated with this arrow to the left of each quotation. This is exactly where 4chan posting began, I guess. That actually wouldn't surprise me at all. Oh, wow, you can literally see it right here. What I'm hearing is that 4chan is the modern school of Athens. Ancient Greece man, I'll use olive oil as a contraceptive. Ancient Greece woman, okay. Also, ancient Greece woman got pregnant anyways. I just can't believe they really thought that was gonna work. Why would they think that's gonna... whatever. That's a whole different type of love for olive oil. Did grown men seriously believe in witches in the 1600s? 1600s, you should meet my ex-wife. She'll make you a believer today. So not funny until I saw the boomer Wojak. Okay, yeah, now I get it. This is just kind of funny. Like 1600s, no, there legitimately are people still to this day believing in witches. I just hope they're not still burning them. Turks in the 1300s, we are the largest empire that exists now. Meanwhile, Turks now, ice cream, grab it. Sometimes you gotta make a transition, whatever you can do to survive. And you know those ice cream dudes are probably making bank too. Like, who doesn't want this experience right here? So, my daughter says you're an American diplomat, says Morocco. Yeah, I represent the Confederate States of America. You have exactly 10 seconds to leave my house. If anyone's going to be loyal to the US, it's going to be our first friend ever. Morocco proving itself to be America's oldest ally even during the Civil War. Morocco was literally the first country ever to recognize the United States of America. Abe Lincoln needs more votes to win the election. A letter from a random girl named Grace that says, grow a beard. That might help. Abe let his beard grow. Abe wins the election. Abe shocked by these results. I can't even imagine if that girl never sent Abe Lincoln that letter. Because there ain't no way he's gonna become president of the US looking like this. No, I actually don't know, but it's possible, who knows? Audiences in 1896 watching a train come right at them in the movie theater. People like to talk about the scariest films of all time. This is it. You can't beat it. I mean, what other movie has had the literal entire audience freak out and scream running out of the theater? Sadly, this claim has been called in the past just an urban legend. I'm sorry, I have to choose to not believe this. Jews after being banned from baking bread. Meanwhile, the gift of the bagel arrives. Is that really its origin story? Yeah, apparently this bread roll originates from Jewish communities in Poland. That's so crazy because I'm literally a bagel supremacist. I eat bagels all the time. Saladin, strict and cruel, which should be like any common general should. Literally, Saladin, when he heard Richard got sick and was notified that his horse got wounded in battle, send him ice, peaches, pears, and a fresh horse now. And I love playing as this guy in Civilization 6. In my opinion, man is so OP. Though he was at times very cruel, he was almost generous with his enemies. That reminds me of this story. British General Howe lost his precious dog. American soldiers wants to keep the pet to taunt them tea lovers. Meanwhile, General Washington, no. Though they were enemies, he gave him back his dog. So based. He even gave him a note along with it too. He knew it was General Howe's because it had a collar. I swear, Washington might be my favorite president. I'm not super knowledgeable on every single US president ever, but the more I read about him, it's just like, dang, this guy was so based. How John Adams looks after finding out he was the only founding father that genuinely hated slavery and opposed invading native lands. Well, that is definitely one tick down for Washington, but you're always going to be able to find something bad that each one did. Gandhi when talking about British colonizers, meanwhile Gandhi when talking about African people. Oh no, Gandhi. And is that a, wait, that's actually a funny, since this no-no symbol used by the Germans was also an Indian symbol way before that. Speaking of the Civilization games there, it's almost like historical figures are also just people and have good and bad qualities. Is apparently when Gandhi was younger, he apparently had some negative views of South Africa. Most of the West, when Japan first opens its borders, a bunch of unequal treaties. Meanwhile, Mexico casually dropping a proper treaty between them and Japan. Most of the West saying, you weren't supposed to do that. So we're talking about when the US came knocking on Japan's door saying, open the country, stop having it be closed. Mexico, I guess, wasn't about to play that game though. It was love at first sight when the Mexican delegation arrived and laid eyes on Son Goku. I guess that's how Japan decided to repay Mexico, making Dragon Ball Z. What are the superpowers' views on space travel? The US says it should only be attempted when the conditions are suitable and should only be attempted in the name of science. Meanwhile, the USSR, if it one-ups the Americans, it's totally worth it. And honestly, this policy worked for a long time there. They had quite the number of accomplishments in the very beginning. Russia, when defending itself, pretty intelligent. Meanwhile, Russia, when invading other countries, or when fighting itself, I'm kind of just thinking the Russian Civil War. This isn't the most accurate meme, but yeah, Finland, Afghanistan, Germany in World War I. That was a defensive war that they did end up losing, but at the same time, they were fighting their own civil war. That's part of the reason why. There's also Ukraine. It's a mixed meme, but I can see where this opinion comes from. But in general, for every place on Earth, it's gonna be a lot easier to defend your country than to attack. Why is my country devastated by war or famine? It has nothing to do with the tyrant Simp4. It's all the fault of random group. Oh man, there's some very interesting characters here. It's not like we chose bad or evil leaders or anything. Sparrows are now an ethnic group. When it comes to the case of China, maybe they are. China had a war against birds, and that did not work out for them. Yeah, it kind of turns out that you probably shouldn't do that, really. Writing on Musashi's life rarely mention his relationship with women, and often when they do, it depicts him rejecting advancements in favor of studying his swordsmanship. Please, will you marry me? Haha, katana go swoosh. This was literally the first man ever to say, while you were out partying, I was studying the blade. If only he knew how many otakus he was going to inspire from this. Oh no, Mehmed is about to take Constantinople. Quick, draw something in the middle to stop him. It's almost over for the Byzantines. How are we going to save their city? Yes, okay, that's definitely one way to do it. Unstoppable Hungarian Navy. Oh yes, here's another. These freaking games to prove I'm not a bot. Why do I hate these so much? Oh no, but this has got to be the strongest of all. A German European passport. If only Eastern Rome had all these things at that time. We probably still have Constantinople. First step to return a Roman Empire. We're talking an Italian, Albanian, and Greek confederation. Oh man, there's just so much to be said about this. I actually don't even know where to begin, but I guess you guys could try to get to work if you'd like. Hungary, according to Polish history books. Meanwhile, Hungary, according to Romanian history books. Love how many different history books depict different nations around the world. Of course, this is British history in British history books, and then the British in literally everyone else's. Would you like to join the Marshall Plan, says the US. Sure, responds Czechoslovakia and Poland. Wait a minute. They're not interested, says the Soviets. Oh man, another big ol' L. So the Marshall Plan was the US's way to rebuild Europe after World War II. They apparently even offered Czechoslovakia and Poland, even though they were on the communist side at that time. But yeah, the Soviets just weren't going to allow that. I still often think about just how genius this policy was. This solidified all these friendships for decades. Hey look, in early USA, it'll never be a superpower. The United States of America is the world's most dominant economic and military power. With GDP of more than $20 trillion, the US has the world's largest economy as well. This is probably what a lot of the world was thinking at that time, back in those early days. They probably did get a little bit concerned when we completed that whole Manifest Destiny thing, though. Never ask a woman her age, a man his salary, or Canada, Argentina, and the US what happened to their indigenous people. And here's one of the major consequences of that Manifest Destiny. Funny to see Canada and Argentina included in this meme that they're usually not, especially the Canadians. Meanwhile, the Australians feeling very relieved right now. The earth is degenerating today. Bribery and corruption abound. Children no longer obey their parents. Every man wants to write a book, and it is evident that the end of the world is fast approaching. This is an Assyrian tablet that was written in 2800 BC. This maybe is one of the most important memes to be showing nowadays. This has literally always been an idea, probably in just every generation throughout human history. Like, we're collapsing. It's over. Only to be a second later, we are so back, boys. OMG, it's already 2000. I can't wait to grow up in a century of economic prosperity and peace. Okay, well this one is pretty sad. I mean, it could be worse. We still don't have a world war yet, so. Big thanks to my patrons this month. Kansas was mentioned. King Bear Hayes, John Denver, I can't sleep without Drew's voice. The beautiful Megan, Under Archaeology, a Fat Norwal, Carmel S, Connor Pavlik, Douche Baggins, Frederick Luxembourg, Jack Trim Tambourine Friend, Kirino Sebi, is if you hear best this, girl, I love you. The Mexican 760 boy.